Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the EGL Open. I'm Brycey. Joining me for this one, the better half of the VP brothers, it is, of course, Momo. How are you, my friend?
I'm very good. First time of the day on the casting booth here. Been on the analyst desk, just looking over a few games. Interesting start. The game we have coming up is very interesting too. Millennium, I believe.
Yeah.
Little Carbon jumping on the sticks.
Yeah, young Millennium are kind of joining us here, and I think they're the favoured team for this one as well.
Yeah. I mean, they've just come off recent kind of victorious spurts, if you like, in France, but coming across, they've always had a bit, except ECL 2, they've always had this kind of difficult uphill struggle in UK, if you like. But it'll be interesting to see because he's not teaming with his brother anymore. He's got his own little squad. It seems to be working for him now, and can he really kind of put it into...
Well, we're going to find out because they're the more favourite team. Before we get that far, though, for the people in the venue, there is a giveaway with EGL. The hashtag is EGLRel. And basically, if you see Oliver Whitfield, better known as Rel, around the venue, you need to take a selfie with him without him knowing. The best selfie at the end of the weekend will win a Scuf Infinity. So try and get hold of that. Try and take a picture without Rel noticing. I'm sure he's going to enjoy it greatly.
So just if you check in that is correct. A Scuf Infinity for Xbox One.
Yeah.
For just a selfie with Rel, but make sure he doesn't know you're taking it.
Yeah, best one wins.
If he's looking at your camera, it doesn't count.
Yeah, use the hashtag EGLRel. Well, all right, let's get back into this game. It's going to be starting up any time soon. There's been a few big games going on now. Some of the top teams in this tournament have already played. And from what I understand, there's been no upsets I've seen. There's been some very big wins, very comfortable wins. They're all kind of just chilled out and they're ready to kind of get into this tournament. It's what usually happens at Opens. The first two rounds, everyone kind of just stretches their legs. If we see an upset, it's kind of a shocking and a massive point we go over, but nothing's happened so far.
Yeah, nothing, like you said, is an upset. We've seen, Infuse take the first game. Yeah. Excel, I believe, had just won a Hauppauge, 250 to 27.
Yeah.
Very, very convincingly as well. But there was, always with these Opens and the kind of way it's seeded, there'll be teams that might get a bit of a harder bracket. And we saw an earlier game, it was, I think it was Riot team up, and they went up against... Hawley's team, and it was one of those which basically, should this be happening early on? It was a bit of a, not a rivalry as such, but it was good to see them battling it out. And unfortunately, we saw Riot kind of fall out to them. They've done so well in previous online tournaments.
Well, this is the great thing about big lands like this, right? Is you can do stuff online and you can win your scrims, which you should never do, by the way. And it all comes down to this weekend. Like if you've been great online and you don't perform this weekend, that reputation means absolutely nothing because you don't win until you win on the day.
Absolutely. So what we got to go into is Audacity up against Millennium here. Obviously Hardpoint being the first game mode. I mean, we've seen it already. We've seen some big wins. I'd expect Millennium to be taking this only from their previous performance.
I kind of agree with you there. I think that's what we're going to see.
Yeah.
We can see the maps as well here now just coming up on the screen. Solar Hardpoint, Riot Search and Destroy, Biolab Uplink, Detroit Hardpoint, and then we're going to end there if we get that far with Recovery Search and Destroy.
Now, Solar Hardpoint, I've seen, I've kind of spectated a few as I've not been casting. Been very, very much, same old. Dominant Hill's been dominant, but I would say that there's been kind of almost a lot more communication. These open events, there's a lot more kind of screaming and a bit more hype. And,
you can even hear it kicking off now. There's a big hype going on in the crowd. There's a fair few people have turned up. It's quite crowded in and around the stations here. People are really kind of excited to see this all kick off. And so far, it's been a good start to the day. Games are really getting underway very, very quickly. Apart from a small delay on the main stage to begin the day, everything is running like clockwork.
Absolutely. And, you guys at home, you're probably used to watching boos and people being kind of, closed in almost. It's all open here. Everyone can hear what you're saying. Everyone can hear, the screams, the chants, everything like that. So it's incredible to see. The atmosphere in this arena is brilliant. But this game coming up, I think it's going to be a good one. I think there might be a little bit of a shock. But I'm interested to see. But Hardpoint Solar, first game, Bryce.
It certainly is, and it does look like it's about to start as well. So we will be jumping in first of all. I was going to ask you, I'm going to ask you this question, but I think I know who I'm going to be watching. Who do you think is going to be kind of your key player here? And I think we're going to be of the same mind.
I think we're going to say Carbon.
Yes, we are going to say Carbon.
Purely because, I've played against his older brother, if you like, so many times, and he's always been a bit of a nightmare to play against. So watching his younger brother, almost you just see how he plays, the same play style, same aggressiveness. It's really, really interesting to see. However, on the other side, I'm going to be interested in seeing PJ as well. Lynx as well going into this game as well. A lot of hype around him, which will be interesting to see. But kicking it off straight away, let's jump on board with Carbon.
Well, let's see if he's going to live up to the hype there. H2 obviously showing down his brother is H1. But first of all, jumping on board with him as he goes straight into the glass side, looking for those early picks. Not able to get it. He's going to miss the shot straight away. Actually giving Audacity a little bit of advantage. He gets it, but picks up the 2-piece here. But at that point, when you miss that kill and your teammate goes down, you've got to be going, oh, I really wish I'd got that. It's kind of a morale breaker just straight off the bat to have a missed shot like that.
Absolutely. You know, 2 kills, 3 kills on the bounce here for Carbon. However, team is trailing at the moment. Only 9-0, going 10-0 at the moment. 30 seconds have fallen, but yet a point to be scored for Millenium.
Well, it does look like finally they're starting to take over just a little bit on board with Plastique. He picks up another kill as well. They do seem to be controlling this fairly well. The rotation now should be coming in as they fight for the spawn. Already they do have control of that as well. You can see they are now just trying to slay out the team of Audacity, and maybe a little bit more control coming in from them. Better play now. Yeah,
absolutely. It's almost finding your feet in the game, just working out what the other team are doing, and you can see Millenium have done that. They know where they're spawning, they're forcing that spawn for them. You can see Zeet here just backing off, does get taken down by Slender. Carbon answering back there, and PJ getting taken out, but it's flashbang here for PJ, I believe it was, or Plastique, and Audacity actually just taking a dominant lead there in the slaying department.
Well, he's managed to get another kill, goes down though. And you can see right now they're still fighting for these spawns here. Quite now, Audacity do have the advantage. And this game is a lot closer than we thought it was going to be off the start. Now 29-19. And Plastique desperately trying to get some kills in, but they're going in 1v1. Finally, the spawns are flipped. Carbon coming in with the first kill, looking for the second, gets taken down. Trey's now coming into this hill. Plastique managed to get one, but it's Cammy who picks up the 2-piece. And he's looking for this next hill. Finally, they managed to push them back out here. But they're almost 20 points behind with not enough. They should go equal if they can hold this for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
But they've got to be wary of that rotation at the same time.
Absolutely. I was going to say the same thing. Rotation. Audacity potentially have done the right thing here. They've got a few points. They're in the lead, but they're going into this power hill, if you like, where they can get a lot of points from it. And I've got to say that one thing I noticed was Carbon. He switched from the BAL to the the SMG, if you like, which I thought he would be doing from the start. And whether it was not working for his team or whether he was just trying something new, I'm not too sure. But I think it's wise to go back to his dominant SMG self, going into this third hard point.
There's Audacity. Link's picking up a 2-piece as well. It is going to get shut down. Cammy comes in with 3. Now and there is going to get shut down straight away again, and it has been a rotation massively in favour of Audacity so far. They got it and they've held it against all of the pressure that Millenium piling on. Once again, Millenium moving in. Can they make these kills once more? It's going to be Plastic, but he goes down. They are not able to break this hill as effectively as they would like to.
And it was, like you said, single file, and it's just not the way to do it. However, you know, Audacity really working well as a team. You can see they're only 5-10 feet within each other, if you like. Do get taken down. That's going to go in control of Millenium for the last 10 seconds, but Audacity will not be worried about that with this lead that they've got. He's going to get shot in the back. Carbon with a great rotation, and he could not only pick the scrap points up for his team, but have the rotation for the next hill.
Well, this is a very important hill as well. Some teams can hold this the entire length of time. But right now we see Audacity. Looks like they may have been the first people there, but they've lost 2 players. It's going to be up to Python. He is going to go down as well. And it's going to be Millenium who are able now to get control here.
Yeah, now, this is almost, the money hill where you're going to make, 30, 40 points, if you like, on this map. So really, really important. You can see Carbon, he's pulled out the AR or the assault rifle, if you like, again. Really versatile player, much like his brother. He can do everything. He can play objective, he can play slaying. Really, really good to see. However, Plastique on your screen also slaying, top fragging for his team. Does get taken down, jumping back on board with Carbon.
They need to make sure they get on that hill if they're going to try and hold control. But you see Zeke now looking to try and get these glass kills, make sure that goes down at the same time. Now, realistically, they need to have that control on glass. Him going down there means they've lost it, so they can't look for the good rotation as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. And one thing that I would say about both of these teams, no one has kind of exhausted that hill. No one's kind of really taken a good 30, 40 points off it. It just seems to be a bit back in 2, a bit scrappy.
I think Millenium got a lot of points off the hill, actually. I mean, they were behind by 20 to 30 seconds going in. Now, as we go on to the last hill, they are ahead. But can they hold this one off? Right now, then Audacity do have control, but you can see the spawns will be flooding in. And it does seem like they're just trying to push them out. They're not able to get this. This is a very close game.
Absolutely. It can't really get any closer. It's about to go 78 apiece if Audacity carry on the way they are. Carbon coming up with a big 2-piece. He's going to be faced off with another. He's going to get bullets into him, but gets taken down there. Slender coming on the catwalk, does get answered back by Cammy. Another 2-piece for Cammy. I've seen that a couple of times on 3-kill streak now.
Look at the spawn out all the way over. And right now they are just being able to slay here. I don't think there's actually going to be a push to push Millenium out at any point. They'll probably challenge them once or twice, but then they're like, you know what, we're not going to get in there. Let's see if we can get the first wave of kills back off middle and maybe get 5-6 points there.
It really is a killer, you know, when you spawn on the other side of the map. You know, the jetpacks, obviously, you can hear them, you know, hear yourself kind of boosting around, and you really want to be kind of controlling that rotation, controlling the spawns, and that's why it's so important for people to kind of rotate early. Now, we're back on the second rotation of the hardpoint here. Millenium really taking advantage of this middle hardpoint. Again, just extending their lead. You know, they were trailing by a good 20, 30 points here.
Well, Cammy's going to go down, and Millenium don't have anybody really in position to try and actually take that time back up here. But now Zeke to come and look at that. They're just slaying. There seems to be a slay-heavy team. Because every single time they lose control, rather than dive in or try to challenge or go for the trade, they just slay out. And you keep seeing that kill feed just full of them knocking people down. They're able to pick up these massive strings of kills.
And it also, you know, Millenium just kind of seems to get the kills at the right time together. You know, you'll see 3 down go quite often, or 4 down. You can kind of think, you know, they can get a good 10, 15 points off that. Jumping on board, Cammy, SMG there, does get taken down. Audacity really trying to just stay in this here, but with only 3 seconds, the rotation has gone into play. He's going to go onto Pies for the second hardpoint, and you can see Zeet here just trying to sit back a little bit and get those better spawns. Does get one, gets taken out. Slender on your screens. Can he do anything to change this round now?
Well, for me, the only kind of critique I have of this Millenium squad is they might be playing a little bit too passive at points. They're really sitting back looking for those kills, and they are slaying very heavily. But every single time they do that, they seem to be a little bit slow to the punch right now. Look at this. They've actually tried to slay it out again, but there's nobody on the hill. There's nobody putting pressure on. Against some teams later in this tournament, they're really going to struggle, because other teams are not going to allow you to sit back and slay them. Yeah,
and again there, kill feed, 4 down for Audacity.
Oh my God.
Cammy again, it's just like 2-piece after 2-piece. You know, he's got 12 captures to his name. He's on a 5-kill streak. Cammy's going off right now. He's going to extend that to a 6 if he takes him down, which he does. Changes over to the BAL and picks that up and reloads as well. He's got everything going for himself right now, Cammy has.
Well, we'll jump back onto him in just a second. Cammy, he's going to be getting the scrap time here, but in goes Carbon. Carbon looking for this player on the rotation. If he makes this kill, it will be big, because it means that player is not able to slow the rest of his squad down as they hit a perfect rotate. Cammy's now on 7, holding mid. And for me, this is there starting to pull away. Very close in the first half of rotation. Cammy will eventually go down, but now Millenium asserting their dominance.
Absolutely. I think there was about 14 kills there, all in favour of Millenium, without Audacity even answering back. However, they're doing so now. They are controlling this hill, and with 70 points, 60 points behind now, you know, they need to do it. They need to do it now. There's only 3 rotation of hills left in this game. 2 minutes 23 on the clock. Let's see what Lynx can do.
Lynx in a good position here to hold off any pressure. He's trying to do it as well, gets another one. Still alive, he's being pop-shotted, not able to convert either, but his teammates staying alive, staying in that hill, picking up a lot of time here. And they need this time. They need this time so they can get a good rotate and try to bring it back as close as possible.
Absolutely. The real key thing for them is this next rotation, and you know, Millenium look pretty well structured here. They're well set up, but Slender's trying to just break this heavy defense, if you like, and he has done. Pasti's going to go down.
Oh, the
they
spawn
really
as well.
need to push hard on the left-hand side. They need to break it now, really. He's 40 points, really, to change, and that we know that last hill can just go under congestion with smokes. Everyone just kind of jumps in, so this hill is the money hill. They need to act now.
They're trying to push it through here. Unfortunately, they did try to pinch earlier. It didn't quite work. Millenium were able to kind of deflect the pressure away, and they're doing the same thing here. They're sacrificing a little bit of the hill time by staying out of the hill, by pushing them as far back as possible. They're pushing out both lanes. However, it's Zeke. This is a 3-man pinch. Can he try and do anything? No. Go straight down. Audacity now has to set a battle line, because here comes Millenium. Millenium desperately pushing them straight back out the hill. Cammy's going to get 2, but he goes down as well. But Millenium will have the advantage there, as it's pretty much a textbook pinch.
Yeah, that was excellently done. And once again, we saw Cammy another back-to-back 2-piece, and it's just unreal what we can see from him. And it's not the amount of kills that he's getting; it's just the way that he is performing this, and he's getting them, you know, in quick succession, which really puts, you know, a lot of pressure on the Audacity team.
Well, you see Audacity now don't really have the bodies in there as Cammy picks up a 2-piece, breaking into the hill again. Carbon will pick up another kill as well. So we jump back on board with him. And look at that, they're just slaying out. They love slaying the hill out. They're not so focused on that objective all the time until people are dead.
Yeah, Carbon really taking advantage of the time that he does have. 42 kills to his name, only 27 deaths. He's having a really good game, keeping it off here on the main stage. 20 seconds left. It is all game over here for
Zeke
Audacity.
just knifed someone.
However, they're going to try and finish it off in style.
They really are. I mean, they could still... they can't do 50 this time. It was kind of obscured by the flash, but For me, look at the scoreboard here, and I try not to look at stats too much, but when you've got two players dropping 40s, one player almost dropping a 40, and the other player, you know, 36 kills, you know how that game has ended up going, and they held it really close right up until that second set of rotations.
Absolutely, and you know, usually when you're playing a hardpoint, one of your team might drop a 40, but when on your team,
Cammy really, had 14 caps.
Yeah, it's that as well, but it's kind of the ratio, if you like. You know, Carbon and Cammy really slaying it out here. Yeah. As you can see on your screens there, Millenium were quite content with their victory of map number 1.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was kind of close, and the only kind of critique you give to Millenium there is that maybe they weren't as aggressive as some other teams would have been. So I'd like to see them. I mean, Audacity were allowing it to happen. Audacity were going toe-to-toe with them, going, all right, well, we'll slay around the hill with you. But we're losing that battle. Some teams won't do that. Some teams will just flood you and continually flood you. So I'm kind of interested to see how Millenium later in the tournament, you know, if we see them again, how they actually perform against a more aggressive squad.
Or even one that can outslay them.
Yeah.
Because then they'll really, really struggle. They'll play the slaying game, they'll be outslayed, and they've nothing really to adapt to. You know, do they then suddenly go objective? One thing that we did see was Carbon kind of changing from the BAL to ASM1, and it was good that he was kind of versatile in a way, but I think sometimes, as long as it's communicated to his team of what he's doing, it's fine. But if you just go running off into a hill when you should be defending, it can mix things up a little bit. So hopefully Millenium have that locked down. Well,
we're going to find out how these two teams play Search and Destroy right after this quick break. Don't go anywhere.